It is such a unique environment, really, for the centre of Bristol.
You come through the gates and you're in this wonderful countryside world.
We do know the lesser horseshoe bats roost within some of the buildings.
And you can hear birds, you can see butterflies flying around, and you see all these delightful paths and the beauty of it, the sheer beauty. You just want to explore.
For nearly 200 years, Arnos Vale Cemetery has been a place of quiet contemplation. A place away from the city centre to remember the dead.
That's the Himalayan cedar, and that's another of the trees that was formerly planted in the cemetery. Interestingly, it had only been brought to Britain in about 1835, something like that. So it would have been, you know, a really new, fashionable tree to have here.
As humans have found new uses for a Victorian place of remembrance, the cemetery has also become a haven for a wide range of flora and fauna.
Acres, it's quite big, but within that you can see an amazing variety of wildlife, which you wouldn't certainly see in your local park, because it's generally made of short grass. You're not going to see that kind of extensive variety. And here we've got the grasslands, the scrub, the woodland, we've got old walls, old buildings, a huge variety. There's at least 350 different kinds of plants here, and bushes and so on, trees. And when we had an insect survey done, the surveyor found as many as 27 that were nationally important, which is quite stunning. 25 different kinds of butterflies recorded here, and it's just lovely to see those drifting around the site.
Through careful conservation management, the ground staff at the cemetery are helping to create the conditions that will enable a diverse range of native species to flourish. Areas of scrub are cut on a rotational basis, creating a patchwork of habitats, each at a different stage of growth. Cutting grass and flowers at the right time of year allows seeds to be returned to the soil.
What we're doing here is replicating a sort of traditional farming method, which would have involved allowing the crops to grow, then having it removed at this sort of time of year, whether it's by mechanical means or by animals grazing the vegetation off, so that it doesn't die down and add its nutrients into the soil.
The team at Arnos Vale are trying to strike a balance between the needs of families of people buried here, the wildlife, and the need to preserve the cemetery as a monument to the Victorian way of death.
We've got a particularly challenging issue with the ivy. On the one hand, it's extremely good habitat for wildlife. The birds can get in there and nest. Bats might even lie up there during the day. Invertebrates go in there to shelter and for hibernation. And then you can see the flowers at the top are developing into berries, and birds will feed on the berries. It has enormous aesthetic value, and one of the lovely things that people enjoy is coming in here and seeing this area with beautiful old stones and the trailing ivy, and the atmosphere of it is fantastic. However, this is a cemetery, and these are actually gravestones, people's gravestones. And of course, underneath that ivy is a lot of writing, perhaps some beautifully carved decoration. So we have to try and balance these requirements.
At the end of the working day, the staff prepare to leave. As daylight fades, the nocturnal residents of the cemetery come out. Foxes, owls, moths and bats.
The cemetery offers quite a nice mosaic of habitats for bats. Really. All bats in Britain feed on insects, so they tend to forage where there are most insects. There are at least 6 bat species that we know fly and forage around the cemetery grounds. We're going to look in the cellars underneath the 2 lodges now, which is an area that has been used by small numbers of lesser horseshoe bats in the past, over a number of years, and this area has been retained for the bats. Okay, there's 2, I don't know if you can see that. If I take, there it goes, there's 2 of them just hanging, got their little claws just tucked into the roof. We put a little incubator in there as well, which provides a nice little warm area, and we're hoping that will encourage use of this area by more bats in the future.
Arnos Vale is home to a colony of badgers, one of Britain's best-loved wild species.
Badgers live in burrows underground. These burrows are known as sets, and they can be quite large. They can extend over 20, 30, 40, 50 metres or so, and have numerous entrances. Badgers will eat pretty much anything. They're omnivorous. They eat vegetables and animals. They tend to forage mostly on earthworms or other invertebrates. They also eat berries, nuts, as well as small birds, baby rabbits and so on.
The cemetery is and will always be a place of remembrance, but it also offers a space to reflect, relax and connect with the environment.
Come here in the spring, it's just incredible to get away from the traffic in Totterdown, come in here and hear these wonderful sounds meeting you. So you just don't know what you're going to see.